Maybe if I turned off mute, you can actually hear me. I just started saying we're welcome to the first grade fixture here, and you heard nothing I said. We're just waiting for the lights to come on here. They haven't come on automatically as they should at 5:45, but we're hopefully about to turn them on manually before it gets too dark and we have to spend play. At the moment, it's certainly light enough, but Martin seems to walk to his car and walk back again. He was looking for the lights, so fingers crossed we'll have them underway shortly, and that's a nice clean hit, but it's foul on the down right into the deep left field corner there, so good early contact made there by the Penrith shortstop, but foul ball, so nothing more than a strike, which I believe takes the count there on Dennis Nova to 1-1. 2-2, we apologise. We'll just catch that scoreboard up there. And fouls one off again on the left side towards the Marlins dugout. So count remains 2-2. And a swing and a miss for strike three. And a swing and a miss there for strike three. Brings about the first out of the innings. To the plate, the centre field, Sean Washington. So one away with a strikeout there to Dennis Nova. To the plate, the centre fielder. And I believe Penrith import, Sean Washington. Not sure where he's from. Maybe Washington. State or DC, not sure. And there's it looks like the lights are coming on. So we say let there be light, and there is light. So fortunately we'll have no interruption to play. The lights here do warm up very quickly. And a fly ball out there to Chet Robinson at centre field. Sean Washington flies out there to centre field for the second out of the innings. A 2 away to the plate. Catcher, James Sams. So James Sams steps up to the plate here for the Penrith side. Just going to look through here. That sheet. See what we have going on. 18. 18. First grade, there's a first grade. Single to their left field by the catcher, James Sams, gives Penrith their first base run of the evening. Brings the plate in the 4-hole. The pitcher, Lachlan McCarthy. How many pitchers bat in the 4-hole? Lachlan McCarthy pitching tonight and batting in the 4-hole. Something you won't see very often. Hitting 222 for the season, 16 hits from 72 at bats. Actually has the most at bats Penrith side. So not surprising the 4-hole has 2 doubles and yeah, interesting to have a pitcher batting in the 4-hole, but there you go. He hasn't done. He only thrown 3 innings, so more of obviously a positional player than a hitter. What's the Marlins lineup? I did it at the ground, haven't I done it here? The Marlins lineup for this evening is slightly different than normal. That's right, I had it on mute. Apologies, I did do the lineup, Givo. You didn't hear me. The catcher is Chris Ings, first base Taylor Clemencia, second base Tristan Watts, third base Kurt Eden, shortstop is Kai McIntosh Walsh, Left field is Dan Rogers. Centre field is Chet Robinson. And right field is Jackson Smith and Luke Kovac down those Marlins. I think that gives you all of the lineups there. Almost. Lachlan McCarthy flies out there to left field for the third out of the innings. Brings to a close the top of the first. The score here remains zeros. And the Penrith defensive lineup for this evening. Catching, we have James Sams. First base, Ray Tozer. Second base, Charlie Woodhouse. Third base, Dean Jacobs. Shortstop, Dennis Nova. Left field, Tyler Doyle. Centre field, Sean Washington. Right field, Paul Riddle. And pitching and also hitting in the 4-hole is Lachlan McCarthy. So I assume you on the live stream were able to hear the Penrith lineup, but just in case, I'll go through it again. Catching is James Sams. First base is Ray Tozer. Second base is Charlie Woodhouse. Third base is Dean Jacobs. Shortstop, Dennis Nova. Left field, Tyler Doyle. Centre field, Sean Washington. Right field is Paul Riddle. And pitching and hitting in the 4-hole, as I mentioned before, is Lachlan McCarthy. Leading off for the Central Coast Marlins is the second base, Tristan Watts. So Tristan Watts playing second base tonight, leading things off here for the Central Coast Marlins. And nice start there by the Penrith. Well, it looks like to be a part-time pitcher, but throws one straight down the middle for a first pitch strike. Just misses there, I think, low and outside for a ball 1-1. Very still night here at the ballpark in Springfield, Central Coast. The wind did get up a bit earlier, which was fortunate because it did blow away the smoke and mist and haze we've had around the Central Coast the last few days from the bushfires out to the west. So that cleared up a bit earlier with a bit of a wind we had. But the wind now is very still here in the early evening at the Central Coast. So no advantage to any hitters in terms of the ball carrying to the outfield. And we saw a home run here earlier by the person up to bat now. As a matter of fact, Chet Robinson hit a home run in the under-18s fixture. 3-run home run over the left field fence. Now hitting the centre field, Chet Robinson. And that gets away from the shortstop. So hard hit ball there, but probably still an error. We'll find out from the official scorers what it was, but got away from the shortstop, and Tristan was safely through to second, and Chet Robinson safely through to first. So runners on 1 and 2 with none out. Brings up to the dish the third base, Kurt Eden. And runner goes from 3. Runner also goes from 2 on a delayed steal, and it looks like he's been called safe there at second base. So did not go initially with the runner from 3, but it's called safe there. Don't know on the replay. I thought the throw may have beaten him there. 2 seconds. Apparently he dropped the ball. So I thought the throw had beat him, but I'm told the ball was dropped. So maybe that's why it wasn't out. And that's a called strike there by Billy Green. Our umpires here tonight, Billy Green at plate, and Nick Glazebrook is the field umpire this evening. And there's one by Kurt Eden to right field. And the sack fly there by Kurt Eden to left field. Plates the first run. Tristan Watts running home from third base. The Central Coast Marlins now lead 1-0. What's that? That's okay. We may just have a temporary pause here with a camera, possibly. Runner goes from 3 and is in time, and the throw is down. The left field line. The run scores. We're just moving the power board in the scorer's hut, so our camera, which is plugged into that, we've just temporarily lost. So I've gone to the camera down first base, which won't help you much. At home plate. You have to press it. We just don't have the camera back yet. Taylor Clemencia currently in the batter's box. Get that camera back up and running, and I'll switch back to the and that's down for ball 3. No. And a base on balls there to Taylor, puts the runner on 1. And a base on balls there to Taylor Clemencia, puts a runner up on 1. May have noticed there the runner from 3 advanced home a moment ago. So Central Coast Marlins now lead 2-0. Now hitting Jackson Smith. Yeah, that's good. So we have our main camera back up again. Apologies for that momentary loss of picture there. You didn't miss anything exciting. A base on balls, basically. And yeah. None out? Yeah, none out. So none out. And Jackson Smith, the number 5 hitter, currently in the batting box. And that might land in front. I think it will. It will land in front of right field. So single there to right field by Jackson Smith. Puts runners on 1 and 2. Brings up to the batter's box the DH, Jack Day. Yes. And a called strike there on Jack Day. And that one's upstairs for a ball. Evens the count here at 1-1. And a foul tip through to the catcher there, which is dropped for a foul. Jack Day, one of our younger players, forced his way into first grade this year as part of our second grade runner-up team last year, but in the last few weeks has been playing first base and DH in first grade through consistent performances in second grade, which have continued up here in first grade. Went 3 for 3 in the midweek fixture. So here's and I jinxed him there because with that strikes out. Jack Day goes down swinging. Out of the plate, catcher Chris Ings. That ball finds the bottom of the zone for a called strike there. Goes upstairs now. The question on the live stream: Fish have any imports? Yes, the runner currently on second base who is playing first base is an import, Taylor Clemencia. He's a Dutch underage, under 23 national player, and is a two-way player who had 2 seasons pitching with the Minnesota Twins over in the US in rookie ball. And we say that he will cross the plate to score the 3rd run of the game. Taylor Clemencia crosses the plate there on the single up the centre to Chris Ings. Takes the score now, 3 runs to 0. Now hitting shortstop Kai McIntosh Walsh. And a called strike one there on Kai McIntosh Walsh. So, yeah, Taylor had 2 seasons in the Twins organisation. Played with Lachlan Wells from here in Newcastle. And that's another single up the middle to Kai. And Jackson Smith turns the corner and also scores. So that takes the score here out to 4 runs to 0. And a single up the middle there to Kai McIntosh Walsh. Plates Jackson Smith from second base. Takes a score now out to 4 runs to 0. Batter's box, left field, Dan Rogers. And finds the outside edge of the zone there for a called strike by Billy Green. And that one misses wide for a ball. 1-1. Any out? I am not sure. I think there might be 1 out. 2 out. Apologies, there are 2 out. Yeah, I know, Juvo. Good help's hard to find. Declan said you can come do it. Oh, looks like he was off feeding his face. That's why there was no...
Okay, Aragon?
He's getting Aragon and feeding his face. I got some. We got Shoe. We're sponsored by Shoe. Just we're endorsed there by Shoe insect spray for those on the live stream, obviously, and that's where you can hear spraying. Erigard couldn't afford it, so we've got the shoe working here. Tropical strength insect repellent. Let's see if it works. And a swing and a miss there by Dan Rogers. Oh, it's called a foul, so it must have been a swing and a tip. So what do we have? We're runners on 1 and 2, 2 out. Dan Rogers in the batting box here in the bottom of the first innings. And that one misses up and outside for a ball. Dan Rogers holds up 1-1 there that misses upstairs. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count, 2 out. Runners will be on the move here. Runners need to make sure, obviously, the pitcher goes to the plate. Although no one's being held on, so as he pitches, they go, and here they go. And Dan Rogers swings and gets one on the ground out there to right field with the runners on the move with 2 out. Chris Ings will easily score from second base. And Kai McIntosh Walsh will hold up there on third base. So runners in the corners. And a single to right field there by Dan Rogers. Plates Chris Ings from second base. Marlins now leading 5 runs to 0. So we have runners in the corners here, 2 out. We go back to the top of the order. Second base, Tristan Watts. And misses upstairs for ball 1. Oh, and Dan Rogers nearly... And Dan Rogers called out there, was clearly wrong, and you can have a look at it on the replay, but that's the way it goes sometimes. He did get tricked and was going the wrong way, but he, in my view, was clearly back. Given out. Not much you can do about it. There's no appeal play here, so out's out. And Dan Rogers picked off there at first base for the 3rd out of the innings, which brings the bottom of the first innings to a close, but not before the Central Coast Marlins have plated 5 runs and now lead 5 runs to 0. Thank you, Jivo. That was my view. He was safe. As you know, I try and call fairly. I called one against us in the earlier game that I thought went the wrong way, and I was right then. I'm right again. Maybe I should be umpiring, not commentating, but there you go. My blue shirt's at home in the cupboard, so... That's what I said earlier, though. They do go both ways, and the earlier one, I think, went in our favour. That one went against us, so it all ends out at the end of the day. We're just actually watching the replay here now on a phone. You're clearly safe. New York said out. Oh, Springfield didn't. We just watched the replay here on the phone. It was clearly safe. And that's up in the air. Looks like Kurt Eden will have room. No, runs out of room. Leading things off here for the Penrith side, third base, Dean Jacobs. And Kurt Eden ran out of room there, so on that fly foul out on the third base side. So it's simply a strike, 1 strike only on the batter. And a breaking ball in there for strike 2. So Dean Jacobs finds himself down here 0-2. And it's another breaking ball in there for a strike 3. The artificial light here just starting to take over. So we still have plenty of light in the sky, but the artificial light is just starting to come to the fore over the natural light. Doesn't look like it on the live stream. Still looks probably like daylight on the live stream, but where we are starting to. And there's a single up the centre to Ray Tozer, the first base, and the Penrith manager, I understand. A single up the centre there to Ray Tozer. Puts a runner on 1 with 1 out to the plate. Right field, Paul Riddle. And Kovacs finds the inside corner there, bottom inside corner there for a called strike. New York, New York, I notice on the live stream there. And that is fouled off over the back of the scorer's hut. Hopefully someone is onto that ball. And that one misses outside for a ball. One thing we actually meant to do today was going to encourage the kids to chase the foul balls with a Zuba Duper, a drink, or a packet of chips, but forgot about it. So Paul Riddle goes down there swinging for strike 3. Paul Riddle goes down there swinging for strike 3. Now hitting Charlie Woodhouse. And Kovacs finds another first pitch strike here. So I haven't got the stats in front of me, but I think he has been quite consistent in getting in front in the count here, having thrown a first pitch strike to most batters. And as soon as I say that, he hits the batter. So hit by pitch there to Charlie Woodhouse, puts runners on 1 and 2. To the plate in the 9 hole, Tyler Doyle. So 2 out here, runners on 1 and 2. And brings up the number 9 hitter, Tyler Doyle, one of the under 18s who's backing up here in the first grade lineup. Quickly finds himself in a hole here, down 0 and 2. Kovacs hitting the bottom of the zone there, inside then outside. And this one misses low, but he swings and is out on strike 3 for the third out of the innings. So that brings to a close the top of the second, with the Central Coast Marlins still leading here, 5 runs to 0. Leading things off here in the bottom of the second with the pick off at first. We go back to the top of the order. Tristan Watts. And a strike there in the bottom of the zone on Tristan. That one misses downstairs. Evens the count at 1-1. And fouls one back there for strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes here now on the Central Coast second baseman. Leading things off here in the bottom of the second innings. And that one's upstairs for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. And that one's downstairs for a ball 3. Looking at it here, Tristan is 8 for 35 on the season. It does have 17 walks in as well. So 35 at bats with 17 walks, and there's another one. So very high walk percentage. Obviously a good judge of a pitch. Good steam. How many strikeouts do we have in that amount? 12. So it goes both ways. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But base on balls there to Tristan Watts. Now batting the centre fielder, Chet Robinson. Chet Robinson also is 8 for 38, and that is an out. So nice pick there by the first baseman for the first out of the innings. Runner advances through to second. Chet Robinson out at first. 1 away. To the plate. Third base. Kurt Eden. Kurt Eden now at bat. And that one's going a fair way. Runners are going, fielder's going back. And cannot take the catch. I don't know if he got the glove or it hit the fence on the full, but the runners will advance. Kurt Eden through to second base. I don't know. Did they hit the glove or the fence? Did they hit the glove or the fence? It was an error? Yeah, okay. Couldn't tell if it hit the glove or it went over him and hit the fence. Ah. And ball finds the outside portion of the zone there. Taylor Clemency not too happy with the call, but that's not going to be deep enough. Sean the second out. And Taylor Clemencia flies out to centre field there for the second out of the innings. With 2 out, runners on 2 and 3. To the plate, Jackson Smith. And a swing and a miss there by Jackson Smith. I was about to say, Ben, I think he might be needed here tonight at this rate. So Jackson Smith finds himself down here 0-1, I think. Runners in scoring position on 2 and 3. Jackson looking to score these runs. And that one's down, but nicely blocked by the catcher. Saves a run there with a runner on 3. Billy Green just checking the count there. Assisted by the scorers that it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that one looks like it will be down. It will find the turf. So this may score 2 runs. Buff running hard. And will plate 2 runs. So a 2 RBI single there to centre field by Jackson Smith. Plates 2 more runs with Tristan Watson, Kurt Eden crossing the plate. Central Coast Marlins now leading 7 runs to 0. Better make that an Uber X. They need to get here in a hurry, I think. And a swing and a miss by Jack Day, the designated hitter here this evening. Jackson Smith held there on first base by the pitcher. That one misses low. The runner will advance there. The catcher got something on it, but it snuck between his legs. Halfway back to the fence, and the runner advances. Jackson Smith moves there over to second base. So with the runner now in scoring position on second, 2 out. And that misses outside. Starting to get cool here as the sun sets in the background. And that one is nicely intercepted by third base. And a nice play there by third base across to first to shut down the bottom of the 3rd innings, but not before the Central Coast Marlins plated 2 further runs. Now lead 7 runs to 0. Can't read anymore.
Can't read that with. Gone.
They like disappear after a while. I'll do what I can, and then I'll give you whatever I can't see. I can see most of them. Okay.
Happy.
I've been nagging them to do it, but so we can get it sorted and we know exactly where we are. Can't read 3, 8, and 9. Sorry, we're just looking at some things there. It's getting very hard to read these scorecards here, so I'm just trying to get it so I can actually read the Penrith lineup. But I know that's currently hitting. Yeah, correct, Ben. I think they're probably short of pitching tonight too, obviously with a temporary pitcher. A pitcher that hasn't thrown a lot of innings at least this year, only thrown 3 innings. So only thrown 3 innings in the first. We're looking for Lachlan McCarthy. Second. No, he hasn't thrown any because I know that Fester has thrown virtually every innings in second grade.
What about
Yeah, so kind of fighting hard here. Find himself down. They're not being completely blown away. There's a nice hit up the centre, but it should go right down Centerfield's throat, which it does. So Chet Robinson there takes the catch. Nice clean hit there by the Penrith import, Sean Washington, but straight down Centerfield's throat. Sean Washington flies out there to Chet Robinson at Centerfield for the first out of the innings. Don't know who this is. Sorry, I don't know who the batter is. I'm just waiting for the lineup to come back. Just 2 or 3 of them I couldn't actually read as the light fades and the being carbon copies, we tend to lose it. So who do we have? Number 96. We have James Sams, the Penrith catcher, now hitting. And a called strike there. And a breaking ball there breaks in for a called strike. Draw till we get a winner as long as there's enough there to cover the cost. So we sold 64, so yeah, I'll take.
Dad can take mine.
I'll take 1. So if you want to take 2 out of that, or
Much yet?
and there's a single to left field by James Sams. So runners on 1 and 2 here, 1 out, and a single to left field there by James Sams. With 1 out, puts runners on 1 and 2. Brings back to the plate the pitcher this evening, Lachlan McCarthy. And that's hit by pitch on the hands there, so loads them up. And the hit by pitch there loads them up with 1 out. Now hitting third base, Dean Jacobs. So, load of bases here. One out. Penrith looking to plate their first run of the game this evening. And fouls one back for strike one. And that one finds the bottom of the zone according to Billy Green for strike two. So an 0-2 count there on the batter. I think the batter was too keen on that call. Did look a little low, but one of those that could go both ways. And managed to hold off the curveball there, which breaks down and through the back of the zone. So missing for a ball. Batter did well there to hold off on that one. Looked like he was going, but managed to hold up. And that one fouls off over the scorer's hut. So count here remains 1 ball, 2 strikes, I believe. Yes, it is. Billy gives the nice clear signal there with his hands out wide so I can see the right hand. A lot of umpires have it in close and I can't see it from here in the commentary position. And a swing and a miss there for strike 3 by Dean Jacobs for the second out of the inning. So 2 out, load of bases to the plate. First base, Ray Tozer. And that one misses either up or outside for ball 1. Not sure which, may have been both. And that's one's in there for a swinging strike. 1-1 now. Ray Tozer, load of bases here, looking to plate their first run of the evening, the Penrith side. Central Coast Marlins looking to shut down this threat. And there's a hit to second base, taken cleanly, and the throw is across in time. So that will shut down the innings without any runs being scored. So with the top half of the third completed, the Central Coast Marlins lead here 7-0. So we have a change on the mound here for the Penrith side. Paul Riddle from right field has come onto the mound. Not sure what other changes. There may have been a straight swap 1 to 9, 9 to 1. I'll catch up with that shortly. But yeah, Paul Riddle now pitching for the Penrith side and leading things off here for the Central Coast Marlins. In the bottom of the third is our catcher, Chris Ings. And that may, in fact, leave the ground. That is a long hit. And that ball has left the ballpark. A home run there to the Central Coast Marlins catcher, Chris Shorty Ings. Going to say so a home run there to Chris Ings. Someone go get that. I mean, maybe he's first. I'm not really sure. Certainly the first for us. Left field. Someone get that ball for me. Now hitting second base, Kai McIntosh Walsh. Beck just said, OMG. I didn't even realise she wasn't here. So the game she misses, Shorty hits a home run. And I think she missed the game at Mountie when he took probably the best catch I've actually seen him take as well. So
9 to 1.
So it's 9 to 1, 7 to 9, 1 to 7. So
Left field went.
So left and right field swapped. So Kai McIntosh Walsh thrown out up there at first base for the first out of the innings. Now hitting, where are we? Dan Rogers.
Dan's name's on as well, but
I know it is. So that also actually takes the score out, obviously, 8 runs to 0. So Penrith struggling a little bit here for pitching, obviously. But credit to them, they've come, they've turned up, they're ready to play. And they're doing the best they can. And a great game in second grade, which Central Coast Marlins won in walk-off. Penrith, of course, very competitive this year in both first and second grade. Haven't been as competitive in under 18s and third grade. But they did secure their first win of the season today in third grade, much to our disappointment. Our third grade side led for the whole game, but then capitulated somewhat in the last innings and lost 5 runs to 4. So would have been we were looking for a clean sweep here today, but third grade, unfortunately, let the team down today. And that dinghy here was fortunately not one of the vehicles parked over there, but the roof of the canteen. So no damage done there, other than maybe the people working in the canteen may need new underwear. And that one misses upstairs for a ball. One ball, 2 strikes here on Mr. Dr. Dan Rogers, as we call him. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. Dan Rogers goes down swinging for the second out of the innings. Takes us back to the top of the order. Sorry, just not sure what's going on there. Tristan Watts. And that one's got a bit on it, but won't have enough to make it over the fence. Down left field throat, which it is. Tristan Watts flies out there to left field for the third out, which brings the bottom of the third innings to a close. Central Coast Marlins, courtesy of the Chris Ings home run, extend their lead to 8 runs to 0. That takes us to the top of the fourth innings here. Leading things off for the Penrith side is the now pitcher, Paul Riddle. And a nice catch there by the catcher, Chris Ings, who obviously doesn't like Paul Riddle much. For the first out of the innings. Now hitting for the Penrith side, Charlie Woodhouse. Sorry? Yeah, no, he would have got it. So Chris Ings doing Paul Riddle, no favours here, hitting for a home run, and then nice catch there to get him out on the foul fly. So, as you may have heard on the ground commentary, yeah, you may not have seen the actual catch on the camera. It may have been just out of range, which shows you actually how far he travelled to get that ball. Maybe we had the other one. Yeah, right in front of the Penrith dugout, just short of the fence. So wouldn't have covered it either with the other cameras we just checked. And there's a hit to shortstop who can't grasp it, so that will be an error, no doubt. So Charlie Woodhouse there reaches first base. On that error. Now hitting Tyler Doyle. Misses outside there for ball 1. And that one misses inside for ball 2. As said earlier here, Penrith may be down a little bit on numbers tonight, and especially in the pitching department. Seem to be having fun over there, joking in the dugout. The laughing in here is from the Penrith dugout. They're obviously enjoying their time up here on the Central Coast, and not too worried about the scoreline, having fun here, playing some baseball, and fingers crossed they will remain competitive here, and we'll have a good game into the evening. So the fielder's choice there, the ball was fielded nicely by Kurt Eden, but the ball was thrown in the dirt to second base. So the throw was errored there, so the runner safely on first on the error to Kurt Eden. Takes us back to the top of the order, now hitting the shortstop, Dennis Nova. Now hitting the shortstop, Dennis Nova. And that one misses inside for ball 2. And that one finds the bottom of the zone for a called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike here on the Penrith shortstop. And that one's fouled off over the back fence here for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on the batter. We have 1 out. Runners on 1 and 2. And breaking ball there is also fouled off into the fence. The batter goes and fetches the ball himself. Brings it back. And will now reset. 2 and 2 count here on the Penrith shortstop. And that one looks like it might be going to land just about on us. No, it's behind us on the hill. So count here remains 2 and 2. Might actually going to put the mic on over there in the Penrith dugout. You won't hear the speaking, but just they're actually and holds the runner there at 3. So I'll just turn that on. It may give you some commentary. Hopefully you don't actually, I don't want to hear the specific speaking or what's going on, but you'll hear the actually how much fun they're having over there in the Penrith dugout. It is, despite the scoreline, they're certainly enjoying their time here, and that's what baseball's all about. Sorry? So loaded bases here, and Sean Washington up to the plate. And that one misses. Breaking ball stays up high and misses for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike here on Sean Washington. And again misses upstairs for ball 2. And that's a foul ball again off to the right side. Two and 2 count here on the batter. Loaded bases, 1 out. Penrith looking here to plate their first run, and that one misses. That's to the fence, and that will plate the first run. The runner comes across from third. Charlie Woolhouse scores there from third base on that pass ball. Or wild pitch, whichever it was scored. I'll check later, but that is the wild pitch. That is the first run this evening. So the score now 8 runs to 1. So runners now on 2 and 3. Sean Woodhouse and goes down swinging there on a Sorry, Sean Washington, my apologies. And Sean Washington goes down there on strikes for the second out. So runners at on 2 and 3 in scoring position. To the plate, catcher James Sams. And that one's downstairs for a ball. A nice clear picture there tonight on the live stream. It's actually much darker than that here. The lights have certainly almost fully taken over. The sky's still some light in the sky, but it's not as light as it looks on the live stream. But with these fantastic new lights here, very good seeing conditions here. So no problem getting through the game here this evening, obviously, with the air quality issues we've had during the week. It's breeze has come in today and cleared it up substantially. It's still a little bit of haze around, but certainly nothing that will affect the continuity of the game here this evening. And that one misses downstairs. Looks like on the scoreboard here, 2 balls, 1 strike. 3 balls, 1 strike actually now. Green there just signalling 3 balls, 1 strike. And it's a foul ball down third base line. Third base coach got a grasp of it, but burst through his hands. Ball hit fairly hard. So full count here on the batter, and that's a swing. It looks like it is. No, they won't. Off to the right side, no room there to make the play. So the count here remains full. Two out, runners on 2 and 3. So runners not going here, of course, with the empty base on 1. And that one is straight up again. Chris Ings makes his way back to the net. Is he going to have room? No, he's going to run in the net, and the ball's over the back. So nice effort there by Chris Ings to make the ground to that ball, but just over the back of the net. So again, no play on that. So we go back to a full count. Batter earns himself, survives another pitch. Now up to about an 8 pitched bat here. This will be pitch number 8, I believe. And that one may be out of here. The fielder's going back. No, it's going to land just in front of the fence. So and Charlie Woodhouse flies out there to deep left field. Brings to a close the top of the 4th inning. Central Coast Marlins now leading 8 runs to 1. Let's update that scoreboard there. I know it's
Ready?
Sorry, just updating there. The Central Coast Marlins here are leading 8 runs to 1. Just notice we updated that scoreboard there. We missed that run during that innings. And now we'll go to some music, so we have to mute the broadcast, as I've mentioned before, due to copyright restrictions. Marlins, Chet Robinson. And a called strike there on Chet Robinson. And that one looks like it's straight up to shortstop, who moves around underneath it. Takes the catch for the first out. Chet Robinson flies out there to shortstop for the first out in the bottom of the fourth. To the plate, third base, Kurt Eden. So Kurt Eden now in the batter's box for the Central Coast Marlins. And that one misses low. One finds the bottom of the zone for a called strike. 1-1 now. And that one flies out to left field, who comes around in front of centre field, takes the catch. And Kurt Eden flies out there to left field at centre field for the second out of the innings. 2 away. To the plate, first base, Taylor Clemencia. And Taylor drives one there to the right side for a foul. And misses upstairs for a ball. 1-1 count now here on Taylor Clemencia. Misses outside, ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike now on Taylor. And that misses upstairs and inside for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike here now on Taylor Clemencia. And that one is fouled off to the right side for another foul.
Yeah.
So full count here now on Taylor Clemencia. 2 out. And that one's fouled off behind the scorer's hut here. So 6 or 7 pitch at bat here by Taylor. And that one's fouled off well and truly out to the right side. That one went a long way, but unfortunately not straight out in front. So in the game of baseball, unlike the game of cricket, that doesn't mean anything. And that one also has gone a long way out to right field, but it looks like it is going to stay in the park. And it's going to be dropped. Taylor Clemencia singles there to first base on the drop fly at right field. Runner on 1, 2 out, back to the plate. Jackson Smith. Misses inside there for a ball. Misses downstairs. I agree, Ben. He has been pretty impressive. Not a lot of velocity there, but throwing strikes, which is all you need to do here. Rely upon your field. We'll probably like our field. I believe that was his first strikeout earlier in first grade when they took the ball off. I just double-checked the stats, and he had no strikeouts to that point, so presumably that's why they retained the ball. And I know on Wednesday night he had his first hit, and they retained the ball. So might have a couple of balls coming to put on his mantelpiece here in first grade as his first hit and first strikeout here at Springfield International Baseball Park, as we now like to call it, and misses downstairs there for a ball 4. So as soon as we praise him, as the commentator's curse happens, he walks the next batter. And a base on balls there to Jackson Smith, brings back to the box the designated hitter, Jack Day. And that one misses upstairs for a ball. So he just seems to have lost his radar a bit since we praised him. But I think he'll find that back pretty quick. And that one's called low, so misses again for ball 2, but that was pretty close to the zone then. We've gone either way, just misses the bottom. So 2-0 count here. And that one misses well and truly upstairs. So he has lost his radar a little bit here, Paul. He needs to take a moment and reassess and come back here and start throwing some more strikes. For the Penrith side, at least. Yeah. And gets a called strike there from Billy Green. So on the freebie, at least, managed to find a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike now on Jack Day. And that misses downstairs for a ball. So base on balls there. That's 2 in a row. He has issued there. And loaded bases. Chrising's up now. Again, facing Paul after the his home run at his previous at bat. Got a bit swing happy there on the first one, swinging up at one that was quite high in the zone. But he's settled down here now, and so you should be. I know there's someone actually speaking as Paul, but it's his wife, I believe. But doing a very good job. Don't tell me Chris Ings is going to hit him for a second home run. No, but it is dropped at the fence, and the fielder has hit the fence, so better call timeout there. The runner's hit the fence. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'll let you know in a moment. Looks like we have a bit of an injury here. He's up and moving, so that's a good sign. But so I think the catch was actually taken. I thought it was dropped, but it seems as though it was taken. But it was taken, and the fielder collided with the fence, which I think was the left fielder. Seems to be okay. He's only walking in, but yeah, took a bit of a hit there. So I hope he's okay. And the catch there at by left field, I believe it was, brings that innings to a close. So we'll now go to the top of the fifth with the Central Coast Marlins here still leading 8 runs to 1. So I believe that was the left fielder, Tyler Doyle, maybe there, who was injured when he hit the fence. He seems to be okay. He's up. He has walked back to the dugout without unassisted. So fingers crossed. I'm sure he'll be up to bat in a moment, and we'll confirm that he's a-okay. But yeah, did take a heavy knock into the fence, but held on to the ball there and took the catch. So good job there by the Penrith outfielder in a brave take. Leading things off here in the bottom of the fifth, Lachlan McCarthy. And that one has gone a long way as well, but looks like it's going to stay in the ballpark, and it is down the... Lachlan McCarthy flies out there to deep left field for the first out of the innings. 1 out. Takes us to the third base, Dean Jacobs. It looks like he is, Jevo. He's certainly hitting the ball clean tonight. 1 home run, and that one was right to the fence. As I said, the fielder hit the fence catching the ball, so certainly had his wheat bix this morning. It's shorty. And I think the first game I haven't seen other than midweek back here, so missed his nice 2 hits, but that one is a fly ball there to right field this time by the Penrith third base for the second out of the innings. Dean Jacobs flies out there to right field for the second out. Now hitting the first base, Ray Tozer. And fouls it back into the fence here in front of our commentary position for strike 1. Oh, here comes Shorty coming to get the ball for us. And another foul tip there by Ray Tozer through to the catcher for strike 2. 0-2 count here now on Ray. 2 out. And that misses for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Billy Green calls Ray out there on strikes. Looked to be near the inside corner. Ray not happy with the call, but doesn't argue too much and heads back to the dugout. So game being played in good spirits here, despite the scoreline. Anything else going on? Everyone enjoying themselves and playing some baseball the way it should be played here. So Central Coast Marlins now lead 8 runs to 1 here, going into top of the 5th there. I'll just check that if it is the top of the 5th or the top of the 6th. I'm not entirely sure if we have kept Going to the bottom of the fifth. So Paul Riddle will be continuing here on the mound for the Penrith side. And one of the whole things. Up to bat for the Central Coast Marlins will be Kylie McIntosh Walsh, Dan Rogers, and Tristan Watts to get things underway here in the bottom of the fifth innings for the Marlins side. Now batting, Kai McIntosh Walsh. And that ball's down. So, bottom of the fifth here, 1 ball, 1 strike on Kai McIntosh Walsh. And hits that to third base firmly. Third base takes it nicely and over to first base in time. Kai McIntosh Walsh thrown out there on the 5-3 play for the first out, bottom of the fifth innings. Takes us to the left fielder, Dan Rogers. And nice hustle up the line there by Dan Rogers. Gets him safe at first for the Central Coast Marlins. First runner of the innings. 1 out, runner on 1. Now hitting back to the top of the order, Tristan Watts. Tristan Watts flies out there to shortstop for the second out. 2 away, runner on 1. Now hitting Chet Robinson. Two out here, runner up on 1. And Chet Robinson now in the batter's box with a 2-0 count. 1 up, 1 down there from the Penrith pitcher Paul Riddle missing the zone there. We do have action up in the bullpen, so looks like Paul's time on the mound, which has been quite impressive after the home run, may come to an end soon. Although they're not in final, certainly not ready to come on there up there. They're just rolling over to each other. So most 11, a little bit of time here, and issues a base on balls there to Chet Robinson. So base on balls there to Chet Robinson, puts runners on 1 and 2, 2 out. To the plate, third base, Kurt Eden. And a first pitch struck there to Kurt Eden. And Kurt fouls that one off to the right side, lands on the roof of the third base. Pardon me, the first base dugout, occupied by Penrith here. Of course, does vary from ballpark to ballpark, as most people know, but here at the Springfield International Baseball Centre, the Central Coast Marlins, the home dugout is on the third base side for those not familiar with the ballpark, so the away team are in the first base dugout. And that's it cleanly there to left field, who doesn't move and takes the catch. And line drive there, straight down the throat of left field for the third out. Brings the fifth innings to a close with the Central Coast Marlins still leading here, 8 runs to 1.
No, it's 2.
Top 6. Leading things off here in the top of the 6th innings for the Penrith side is the pitcher, Paul Riddle. The man we have been speaking about now pitching for the Penrith side is now leading things off here in the top of the 6th innings. And takes a ball downstairs there for a 1-1 count. Last at bat was caught on a very good catch by the Central Coast catcher, Chris Ings, who took the catch over in front of the Penrith dugout for the out. And this time it's up again. Chris is going across again. Is he going to do it again to him? Yes, he is.
He really doesn't like him.
Chris Ings again catches Paul Riddell on the foul fly. So Chris Ings continues to be Paul Riddell's public enemy number 1 here, and they had a joke about it actually then as they walked off in good spirits. So as I've said, game being played in great spirits tonight between both teams. A nice play there by the shortstop, which will be in time, over to first base. And nice play there by shortstop for the 6-3 play. Throws out Charlie Woodhouse up at first base for the second out. Now hitting the left fielder, Tyler Doyle.
Luke Edwards.
My apologies, there was a change.
Luke Edwards.
Yeah, no, that's okay. My apologies, it's now Luke Edwards batting for the Penrith side. Was that after he hit the fence? Yeah. Oh, was it? Okay. Thought it might have been him. I was saying on here whether or not he was okay, but I think he is, so.
This one.
So Luke Edwards fouls one off there. I'm not sure what the count is here. We'll catch up in a moment. Billy usually gives quite clear signals. And that's ball one I hear from Billy. So it might be 1-1 or 1-2. And that one looks like it will find grass. Yes, it will, in front of Dan Rogers. So a safe hit there to left field. And a safe hit there to left field puts the runner up on first base. So runner on 1, 2 out. We go back to the top of the order. Now hitting for Penrith. The shortstop, Dennis Nova. Luke Jacobs misses up and outside there for ball one. Sorry, Luke Kovacs misses up and outside there for ball one. Misses upstairs for ball two. And that one's high, hit to third base. And nice catch there by Kurt Eden going backwards at third base for the third out. And a nice catch there by Kurt Eden up the third base line for the third out of the innings. Brings to a close the top of the sixth innings. Score here remains Marlins 8, Penrith 1. Leading things off here in the bottom of the sixth innings, Taylor Clemencia. Paul just seems to have lost his radar a little bit here at the start of the bottom of the sixth. 2 balls down there on Taylor Clemencia. They looked to be down again, but Taylor swung at that one. So 2 balls, 1 strike now here on the Marlins first baseman. And in the game of cricket, that ball was probably hooked for 6. But in the game of baseball, it's simply a foul out to the right side. So that evens the count here, 2-2. Paul coming back there from 2 balls to start. Now count 2-2. That one's upstairs for ball 3. So they will take it to a full count here on Taylor Clemencia. And that one was in there for a strike, I would say, but it's fouled off by Taylor to stay alive to see another pitch here. So full count here. And that was high, but Taylor did swing at it. Got a foul tip through to the catcher, so Taylor goes down on strikes. Taylor Clemencia down on strikes there for the first out. To the plate, Jackson Smith. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Jackson Smith now in the batter's box, the Central Coast Marlins right fielder this evening. And that one misses up and outside for ball 1. And that one misses downstairs for ball 2. And that one's in there for a called strike. So 2 balls, 1 strike now here on Jackson Smith. The activity I mentioned before up in the Penrith bullpen has gone away. So obviously Paul is in for a bit longer of a spell here. Neither person that was up there particularly actually went through a full warm-up. They just started rolling over. So I'd say Paul will be continuing here for a little while, which to those on the Facebook, the stream, I'm sure will please you no end. Doing, as I said, as Ben Coyne said, since the home run, he's actually done a good job here. I don't think there's been any further runs scored. And only a couple of hits, but that will be a safe hit up the centre. A nice dive there by shortstop, but unable to stop the ball. I don't think that will be errored, but we'll wait for the official call from the scorers. It was a nice play there, dived across, just got a glove to it. I don't think it will be errored. We'll find out in a moment. No, it's correct, not errored. So it was a nice dive, good effort by shortstop, and it wasn't errored. It just got the glove on the way through. And that's a nice hit there by Jack Day. That will land in front of centre field for a safe hit. So consecutive hits there by Jackson Smith and Jack Day, the designated hitter. Safe hit there to centre field by the designated hitter, Jack Day. Puts runners on 1 and 2. 1 out, brings to the plate his nemesis, Chris Ings. And shorty, Chris Ings watches a high one there. Chris Ings flies another one out to centre, but that one won't, I don't think, will be safe. Left field comes in and takes the catch. So bit of revenge there for Paul Riddle on Chris Ings. That time manages to get him out for the second out of the innings. So 2 out now. And runners on 1 and 2. As long as it works, I'll keep talking him up. I'm obviously trying to be unbiased here in the call as best we can. But of course, we are going for the Central Coast Marlins. But we'll still call a good, what's a good play, and a bad play, no matter who makes it. So if we can jinx someone and works for us, all the better. But no, he's doing a good job here. So looking to get out of this without any further damage. Did have 2 consecutive hits, but now got 2 out. So looking to get this 3rd out without any further damage is the Penrith side. 2 out, runners on 1 and 2, as I mentioned. And Kai McIntosh Walsh is the batter for the Central Coast Marlins. Misses upstairs for ball 3. And misses downstairs for ball 4. So base on balls there to Kai McIntosh Walsh. Base on balls there to Kai McIntosh Walsh. Loads them up. 2 out to the plate. Dan Rogers. That base on balls loads them up. Dan Rogers now in the batter's box for the Central Coast Marlins. Penrith side here, 2 out, looking to shut down this threat. Central Coast Marlins looking to advance this score out from the current 8 runs to 1. That one misses upstairs. Evens the count here, 1-1. And that one finds the middle bottom for a called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. So Penrith now 1 strike away from shutting down this threat. And Dan Rogers fouls that one off. So count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Dan Rogers. Loaded bases, 2 out. No one's upstairs for a ball. 2-2 now. And Dan Rogers fouls that one off. Also probably would have been a strike, so extends the at-bat here by another pitch. And that one's upstairs. I believe that will now be a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes here on Dan Rogers. Billy hasn't signaled it. Yeah, 3 balls, 2 strikes. So walk scores, strike ends the innings, and it's a strike. So Penrith side does manage to shut down the threat there of their loaded bases and shut down the bottom of the 6th innings with no runs scored. So Central Coast Marlins here still lead 8 runs to 1 going into the top of the 7th. So we have a defensive change here for the Central Coast Marlins. Young Parker Robinson, I believe, making his first grade pitching debut here, has come onto the mound. His brother, of course, is at centre field. And a swing and a miss there by Sean Washington. And a 79-mile-an-hour fastball there. 80 mile an hour. Parker Robinson, of course, represented Australia under 15s in, I think, the World Cup. I think it was last year. Somewhere in South America or Mexico, I believe, from memory. I'd stand corrected on that. Well, one of our young up-and-coming stars here on the Central Coast, of course, along with his brother Chet Robinson, who often plays, especially on Wednesday night, starting shortstop. Tonight would have been on the infield, but we had a late change. Kai McIntosh Walsh coming to first grade, and Chet Robinson moved to the outfield, showing his versatility. And that one misses upstairs for a ball. So a bit of a nervous start there. Started with a strike, swinging strike, but gives up the base on balls. Base on balls there to Sean Washington, now hitting James Sams. And that one must have missed just outside. Looked to be good height, but possibly just outside there. Not called by Billy Green. So one ball. Just struggling to find his rhythm here. He got a first pitch strike, but struggled a little bit since then. And that one finds the outside corner for a called strike. 1-1 count now on the Penrith hitter. Does throw hard, maybe overthrowing a little bit here on his first grade debut. Not really sure. But just looking at a little bit of control at the moment. That one getting away from the catcher through to the back fence and the runner advancing across to second. So just needs to take a breath here, maybe take 1 or 2 mile an hour off and just find that zone and then ramp it back up again. So again, misses outside for ball 3. So a bit of a nervous start here, but plenty of runs to play with, so no worries at the moment. There's a better pitch for a strike. And that was going to miss up high, but put the bat out at it, and it fouled off up into the top of the back fence. So, and fielded in front of us here by Sean Smith. That takes it out to a full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So looking for a strike here. And that's a hit up the centre. With a runner, ball taken nicely by Chet and prevents the run. So, and hit up the centre there to James Sams. Puts runners in the corners, none out. Now hitting Lachlan McCarthy. So Parker looking here for his first out. And fouls another one off. Certainly throwing hard. And that one got stuck up in the third panel up on the fence. So we'll drop down eventually or we'll knock it down. But at the moment it's staying up there. And I just got a update from the Blue Sox. Sydney Blue Sox trailing the Brisbane Bounders at the present time. Just scored a run, but they're still trailing
Scored.
3 runs to 2.
Canberra-
It was Michael Campbell who scored, or was the RBI?
No, he scored.
He scored the run.
But
And that's a hit there to left field, which will play to run.
but their first run, he got a double. And
And a single there to left field by Lachlan McCarthy will plate the runner from 3. Now takes the score out to 8 runs to 2. Now, runners on 1 and 2. Now hitting Dean Jacobs.
he got a double. First one.
And a swing and a miss upstairs there by Dean Jacobs. Not sure it would have been a strike, but certainly turned it into one. So 1-1 count here now for Parker. I think he just needs a strikeout here to settle his nerves. And there's a better pitch down in the bottom of the zone for strike 2. Batter didn't like it, thought it was low. But Billy Green called it a strike, and that's the only opinion that matters at the moment here. So, 1 ball, 2 strike count now. So, looking for his first strikeout here in first grade, Parker Robinson, on a 1 and 2 count. And that's a breaking ball. Nice shape on the ball, but broke down into the dirt for a ball. Evens the count here at 2 and 2. So, still looking for his first grade strikeout here. And that one's fouled off high for and that'll be a called strike. Yes, it will. Beat him with a curveball there. So that's the first strikeout there for Parker Robinson, the first out of the bottom of the 7th here. Sorry, the top of the 7th innings. I apologise. So 1 away, runners on 1 and 2. And that one finds the bottom of the zone for a called strike. And that one misses upstairs for a ball. 1-1. This is the second grade catcher. I have to confirm his name, but they changed catchers last inning. So he's hitting now for the first time in the game. And that one flies there out to left field. Dan Rogers comes around, takes the ball comfortably. The runners remain at 1 and 2. So 2 out now. And now hitting the Penrith pitcher, Paul Riddle. And just an update there, the Blue Sox game. The Blue Sox just plated another run. So the score is now 3-3 there at Blue Sox Stadium. After 7 and being a doubleheader today, it was only a designated 7 innings game, so they'll be going to extras there in order to split the 2 teams. And that one finds the bottom of the zone. At this stage, we won't be going to extras here. And from, I guess, the Central Coast Marlins point of view, we certainly hope that remains the case, with the Marlins here still leading 8 runs to 2. But the score's been fairly static for a while. Penrith scored, I think, plated the last 2 runs of the game. Marlins led 8-0. Penrith plated the last 2.
Right.
Jubo just said the second game is a 9 innings game, apparently. So they'll go to the 8th. Either way, they'll go to the 8th, but it's not tie break then. There's still 2 to go. And that hit up there to first base by Paul Ritter will be fielded by Taylor Clemencia, who will go over and step on first base for the 3rd out. So the unassisted out up the first baseline there by Taylor Clemencia, 3rd out of the innings. Brings to a close the top of, with the Central Coast Marlins here still leading 8 runs to 2. Yeah.
No, that's a ban. That's a ban.
The 7th inning stretch music there on Spotify, but we didn't find it. So we'll go back to the proceedings. I didn't sing for you. Apologies. So leading things off here for the Central Coast Marlins, we go back to the top of the order. Tristan Watt. Thank you there to Ben Coyne that the catcher, replacement catcher, the 2nd grade catcher is Ethan Bryant. Didn't get that off the umpires when the change was made. So Ethan Bryant was the 2nd last at bat, and is now catching for the Penrith side here in the bottom of the 7th. That one's back up the centre, past the pitcher to the second base, and it is in time. The 4-3 play there is in time up to first base. So Tristan White's thrown out at first for the 1st out of the innings. Now hitting the centre field, Chet Robinson. And that one misses upstairs for a ball. That's 3 straight balls here on Chet Robinson, missing downstairs. So 3-0 count here. The bat will be on the shoulder. And that's ball 4. So base on balls there to Chet Robinson. Base on balls there to Chet Robinson. Now batting for the Central Coast Marlins, Paul Eden. Called him wrong name.
Huh?
He called Parker Chet, so I was picking on him. Oh. Yeah, pause his dad.
I assume.
And hit by pitch there to Kurt Eden for... Central Coast Marlins now runners on 1 and 2. 1 out. To the plate. First base, Taylor. Clemencia. So the hit by pitch there to Kurt Eden puts runners on 1 and 2 with 1. Now hitting Taylor Clemencia, the Central Coast first baseman. And that one misses upstairs. And that one's fouled off over the back here for a strike. 1-1 count now. And that one's inside for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. And downstairs, bouncing in front of the plate there. Just momentarily lost his radar again here, has Paul. Probably beginning to tire. Certainly not in first grade in any event, so issue another base on balls there, and I notice that we have movement again up to the Penrith dugout, and we're about to have a visit by up to the Penrith manager Ray Tozer. I don't instance because they've only just started heading up to the dugout, so just have a chat, settle him down. As I said, maybe starting to tire. I'm not sure how many pitches he's thrown, but it's certainly been an extended outing for someone who doesn't regularly pitch. And looking at as much time as we can here. Sean Smith out there also speaking to Nick Glazebrook. Not sure what that is about. But no one seems keen to end this conversation, and it keeps growing. I assume Billy will have to walk out there sooner or later because we're starting to have a bit of a powwow here in the centre. Sean's distracted Nick, so he's not ending it. Billy's not ending the one on the mound. And I suspect Ray's going to stay there. So Billy's starting to make his move out there. Now Ray's starting to walk away. Quite a long, extended visit there by both managers. One to the mound, one to the field umpire. And looks like we are going to get back underway after all of that. So, loaded bases here now hitting the right fielder, Jackson Smith. So Jackson Smith up to bat here with loaded bases, going to extend this lead out further with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. And that one misses inside for ball 1. And that one's up in the air. That should be an infield fly if someone calls it. And they do. Jackson Smith out there on the infield fly for the second out of the innings. So 2 out. Loaded bases now hitting the designated hitter, Jack Day. So not a lot happened up in the bullpen. They're now walking back again. So that was enough. It only required a short warm-up, but didn't not a whole lot happen up there. So I don't know if that means they're ready already, or Paul's going to remain on for longer. And that one misses downstairs for a ball. And again misses downstairs. 2 balls, 1 strike here on Jack Day with loaded bases in the bottom of the 7th innings. Misses again downstairs for a ball 3. That'll take it out to 3 balls, 1 strike here now. So another ball here will score a run. Needs a strike. Needs to find the strike zone here, which he fails to do. That's down again. So ball 4 there scores the runner from third. And a base on balls there to Jack Day, scores the runner from third. Takes the score here out to 9 runs to 1. Now hitting the catcher, Chris Ings. And that one's in there for a called strike. Chris Ings, of course, homered off Paul Riddell's was the first batter he faced back when he came on to pitch in about the 3rd innings, and Chris Ings promptly put him over the left field fence for a home run. Has had 2 good hits since then, but both were caught on the fence. So the battle between these two continues, and that one's up, misses upstairs for a ball. And in the meantime, Chris Ings has caught him out on foul flies twice, one of which is a very good catch. The other one was fairly regulation. That time he flies to right field, who's coming in. Will he make it in time? Yes, he will. Chris Ings flies out to right field this time for the 3rd out of the innings. That brings to a close the bottom of the 7th. Central Coast Marlins leading here 9 runs to 2. Charlie Woodhouse leading off here for the Penrith side in the top of the 8th. And ducks under that one. Bit of chin music there. And that one's in there for a called strike. Ends the count at 1-1. And that one misses low for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike now here on Charlie Woodhouse. Just starting to get quite chilly here at the ballpark. I'm not sure. Temperatures just seem to suddenly drop. And the 4-3 play there for the first out. Charlie Woodhouse thrown out there on the 4-3 play for the first out in the bottom of the 8th innings. Is the replacement? I've got his name. No, don't worry. So, 1 away there. This gentleman came in the last innings. Can't remember his name. Jack Edwards, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Don't have him on my lineup. He said he didn't start the game. But fouls one up the third baseline there for foul. And that looks to be the same. Looks like there will be room this time. There is. Kurt Eden moves across. Takes the catch in foul territory for the second out. Nice range there by Kurt Eden up at third base for the second out of the innings. That should take us back to the top of the order, I believe. Now hitting the shortstop, Dennis Nova. So 2 out here in the top of the 8th. And that one finds the bottom of the zone for a called strike. 1-0 here. 0-1, sorry, on the Penrith shortstop. And that breaking ball misses low for a ball. 1-1 now. That one's in there for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on the Penrith shortstop. And that one's in the dirt. Evens the count at 2-2. And that misses low and outside for ball 3. So 3 balls. I believe it's now 3 balls, 2 strikes. Just wait for Billy to give a signal here. It is 3 balls, 2 strikes now on the batter. So full count here. And that one's fouled off to the right side. Keeps the batter alive in the box on a full count. Count remains 3-2. And again, fouls one off. Probably would have been high. I don't think that would have been called a strike. It would have been the walk. And Juvo just posted then that the Blue Sox now leading 5-3. Plus Moanarawa hit a 2-run double in what I assume will be the bottom of the 8th. So there'll be 1 innings to go there, but I don't think the 8th is finished yet. So, and there's a hit to third base, which bounces up and over Kurt Eden, who can't manage get the ball in the glove there with the bounce that ball took. Correct, bottom of the 8th. Same as we are here. No, we're in the top of the 8th here. So most running synchronous. Now hitting the Penrith centre fielder, who I believe is their import this year, Sean Washington. And that's in the dirt. And away from Shorty, Chris Ings. So that will advance the runner over to second. And that one's in the air towards second base. Very high, but taken cleanly by Kai McIntosh Walsh for the third out. So that brings to a close the bottom of the eighth. So that brings close the top of the eighth. Now takes us to the bottom of the eighth, and we do now have a change on the mound. So Paul Riddle's effort comes to an end. As we said, I think he got through 5 innings of work there. I think he came in the third and goes out in the bottom of the eighth. Some defensive changes here for the Penrith side. Paul Riddle's stint on the mound comes to an end. Now pitching for the Penrith side. I think it was the reserve in threes, Cameron someone or something.
What's the pitch?
Cameron Laird, was that right? Cameron Baird. Yeah. Now pitching for the Penrith side, Cameron Baird.
Reserve went on.
Yeah, he went on, but he only threw quite short.
What number?
30.
Goes.
Did this go 30 or 30?
Hmm.
30, I think. 30, same one.
Is it really?
So we have Hager for Jacobs and Baird for a Riddle are the changes for the Penrith side. And that misses upstairs for a ball one on Kai McIntosh Walsh. And finds the inside edge of the zone there for a called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike now here on Kai McIntosh Walsh. And there's one up the middle. Will it be? No, they don't get a play on it. Single up the middle there to Kai McIntosh Walsh. Puts runner on 1. Brings to the plate Dan Rogers. And Dan fouls one off out to the left side over the Marlins dugout. And that one is over the infield. Maybe, may not. Oh no, right field has time. Comes in, takes the catch, and the ball is thrown past first base to the fence. And Kai McIntosh Walsh advances to second.
Error.
Yeah, probably. So we go back to the top of the order, now hitting Tristan Watts, and a called strike there on the first pitch to Tristan. And that one misses outside for ball one. 1-1 count now on Tristan. 1 out, runner on 2. Now. And the ball 2 upstairs there. And that's hit hard down the left field line there by Tristan to the Central Coast bullpen, where someone appears to be up throwing. It looks like Taylor Clemencia throwing up there in the bullpen. So we may see Taylor on here to close out the bottom of the ninth. Sorry, the top of the ninth, I should say. And it's up the third base line. It looked to be fair there, but no, called foul. Certainly looked to be inside the line, but called foul there by Billy. Certainly looked to be fair to me. But anyway, the runner's called back, and we move on. So 2-2 count now. And that one's down in the dirt. Takes us out now to a full count. Adelaide up 5-4. I don't want that for my tipping. Givo. I have Korea tonight. And that's certainly hit cleanly, but foul out to the left side. And the Ace is also up 7-6, I'm told. Which I think I do want tonight, or I don't want tonight. I don't remember. Find out on Monday or Tuesday, I guess, when Givo posts the scores in his tipping competition.
7.
No, 7-all now, someone.
Melbourne and Perth.
Oh, Melbourne and Perth, 7-all. Ball fouled off there to the right side. Instead of hearing mine, I heard no. So someone didn't want to catch it or be under it. And it misses upstairs for a ball 4. So we effectively end up with the same result as we had with the foul ball up the line. We have Tristan Watts on first base, which was where we were before. So normality is restored where I think we should be. And we have runners on 1 and 2 with 1 out. Now hitting for the Central Coast Marlins is the centre fielder, Chet Robinson. And a called strike there on Chet Robinson. Evens the count here, 1-1. And a swing and a miss there for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes now here on Chet Robinson. And that's gone very high somewhere. It looks like third base is moving in for it, which he does. That's called infield fly anyway, with runners on 1 and 2 and 1 out. Brings to the plate, third base, Kurt Eden. 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th with runners on 1 and 2. Central Coast Marlins certainly hope this will be their last at bat, if they can come out and defend these runs in the top of the 9th. And Kurt Eden fouls that one down into the catcher's leggings and stays alive here. I believe 1 ball, 2 strikes, maybe. Wait for Billy to signal. No, 2 strikes only. So the scoreboard is correct. I was wrong. And I think that one's going to land on grass. Yes, it is. So a safe hit there to Kurt Eden. The runner turns the corner and scores standing up. So an RBI single there to Kurt Eden to right field. Plates the runner from 2. Runners in the corners now. 2 out to the plate. Taylor Clemencia. And that one finds the outside edge for strike 1. And swing and a miss there for strike 2. And again, fly ball there to centre field, very high, but down his throat. So third out. Taylor just not able to get his trajectory right here. He's getting good contact, but the trajectory then was way too high. If he had it down a bit closer to or under 45 degrees, that probably would have been out of the park, but way too much trajectory on that pitch, put it down the throat of centre field. So that takes us to the top of the 9th, with the Central Coast Marlins leading here 10 runs to 2. Apologies, I hit mute because we were playing music and I forgot to unmute. So you missed all of that. Apologies, we had a defensive replacement at catcher. The Dan Willings has come into the game for the Central Coast Marlins in replacing Chris Ings. Parker Robinson has continued on the mound, even though we did note Taylor Clemencia warming up in the bullpen. We had a and looks like we're now going to make a change.
Let's go, Dave. Yes.
Where?
Dugout. What are you hearing?
Parker Robinson is done. Taylor Clemencia will go to the mound, and I assume Jack Day, the DH, will go to first base. Some further defensive changes here for the Central Coast Marlins. Parker Robinson is completed his pitching stint on the mound. So Taylor Clemencia moving across from first base to the pitcher's mound, and the designated hitter comes into the game. Jack Day moving to first base.
Yeah.
Total of 4. Which means we now have the same situation Penrith started with, our pitcher hitting the 4 hole if we actually bat again. Quite unusual lineups here, and I think we have a pinch hitter for the Penrith. Oh no, we don't. No, it's the catcher. Apologies. So loaded bases here, none out in the top of the 9th. Penrith trailing presently 10 runs to 2. And Taylor Clemencia commences with a strike. And that one misses out inside and low for a ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here on, I think from memory it was Ethan Bryant was the name, the Penrith replacement catcher. And drives one there out to and a single there to left centre, plates a run. Narrows the gap here, now 10 runs to 3. We have a pinch hitter here for Penrith, and also a pinch runner up on third with the third base coach and the runner actually just swapping gear. So the coach is now running and the runner's now coaching up on third base. One on one count now here on the batter. And that one's in there for a strike 2. Just a shout out to all our sponsors there on the live stream tonight. Note our broadcast sponsor, Prestige Wedding and Event Hire, one of our long-term sponsors here. So the out there up at first, plates another run. So the out there at first, plates another run. Now Penrith now trailing 10 runs to 4. I think we've lost our scoreboard momentarily. We'll just catch that up. But I believe it's 10 runs to 4 here. 1 out, runners on 2 and 3. That's in there for a called strike. 2 strikes now here on the batter. That's through the fence. That will plate another run. Now 10 runs to 5. No problem, Ben. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. It's not over here yet, though. Penrith still pushing on, though. There was the second out, then strike out. A little bit of banter between the pitcher and Billy Green, the umpire, but seems to have, and the hitter to a degree, but seems to sort itself out. And we're back underway here with 2 out now. Runner on 3. Penrith down early, as they were in the midweek game, but fought back quite valiantly here. Managed to hold the lead due to a good outing there in the middle relief by Paul Riddle, who gave up a home run, I think, at his first batter, but then managed to shut the game down pretty much from that point on, and held the score there at 8 for the Central Coast Marlins, and with that strikeout there, brings a close to the end of this fixture. So a game, other than that last little bit of banter, played in good spirits between these two teams. Central Coast Marlins running out winners 10 runs to 5. With the lower grades there, the second grade game, I think, was 3 runs to 2. It was a walk-off win to the Central Coast Marlins. Single by Dave O'Keefe there for the walk-off. The third grade game went to the Penrith side after Central Coast led for the entire game, but again, Penrith had a rally in the top of the, I think the 7th or the 8th innings, whatever the last innings was anyway, and ended up winning 5 runs to 4. And in the under-18s fixture, it was a mercy victory to the Central Coast Marlins, 16 runs to 0. And also the same in the midweek fixture was a mercy victory, I think 17 runs to 2. So not a clean sweep here with the third grade loss, but 4 out of 5. So a reasonably successful weekend for the Central Coast Marlins, but Penrith fought hard across all grades, and as I said, come back well in first grade and fought really hard in second grade in what was a great game, and went down to a walk-off in the last inning. So with that, we wish you good night, safe travels if you're not at home, safe travels to all our friends from Penrith who have to make their way back to the foot of the mountains here, and we look forward to seeing you. Merry Christmas to everybody. This is our last game of the year, as we have the bye next weekend, which is the last round of the main for all the other teams, and we will see you back here for the live stream in the new year. So good luck and a good night. And thank you to the get set up. So thanks, guys, and good night.